Snow fell steadily for most of the day across the inland Northwest. It's still falling in some places. In others, though, it's done for now. Winter storm advisories and warnings remain in effect tonight.
Plus, it may be a bit longer before the victims of the Freeman High School shooting get some measure of closure. We have team coverage tonight on all of this, including a live look at the roads tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 6. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. So we are keeping one eye on the weather and we'll get back to that here in just a moment. But our top story at this hour, another potential setback for the Freeman school shooting case. A series of motions related to that case were pushed back now until Thursday, including a motion to move the case out of Spokane entirely. Caleb Sharp was just 15 years old when police say he opened fire at Freeman High School, killing one student and injuring 3 others. That was in the fall of 2017. The case has since seen multiple delays.
The trial is set to start in just 2 weeks. Motions were scheduled every day this week, but the judge decided to push those hearings until Thursday. The judge will hear arguments whether the trial should be moved to another county and whether to push that trial date back again. Another motion is seeking an exceptional concurrent sentence for the suspect if he's found guilty of the murder charges against him. Aggravated murder is a 46-year sentence. Defense attorneys are asking for an exceptional sentence of 20 years since the suspect was a juvenile at the time of the shooting back in September of 2017. All right, Amanda Rowley joining us here at the set tonight. Amanda, let's get right to it. You've been following this case from the start. Let's start with the main takeaways from today. What happened in court today?
Well, the hearing started at 9, right? So we were there from 9 a.m. and kind of waited around, right? They had a quick brief discussion on the record, and then the state and defense attorneys spent the rest of the morning speaking with the judge in his chamber, so behind closed doors. Now, the defense later spent time talking with their client behind closed doors as well. And we did not go back on the record in the courtroom until this afternoon. And that's when the judge decided to push the hearings to this Thursday. He said by then there was just not enough time to hear those arguments for all those motions.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of those motions. What has been filed now?
So there has been a motion filed to push the trial back, right? And that's because the defense wants more time to wait for the outcome of an appeal that's been filed for this specific case. Now, to be clear, the trial has already been delayed several times, and the judge, Michael Price, is eager to see this case completed. This is what he said back in June last year.
I don't know how many times I've said it, that I wanted this case to get going, and we needed to get this case tried and completed.
Now, the defense also doesn't think the jury will be fair and impartial, partly because of the media coverage surrounding this case, and that's why they want to move the trial out of Spokane County. Now, court documents show the court issued also a special summons for 300 jury members. The case file also includes a proposed jury questionnaire to determine if potential jury members can actually be impartial. So there's a lot riding on all. These are big motions, right? They have a big impact on the timeline of this trial, so a lot's riding on these, and we'll hope to get an answer and get it all addressed by Thursday, if not Friday at the very latest.
Yeah, it's been a while already, hasn't it? My goodness.
It's been a long ride. So the motions being heard this week, just another in a series of delays. So late last year, defense attorneys tried to assert an insanity defense. That was denied by the judge. The defense has then filed a new motion to reconsider that. They also tried to delay the trial, again saying they needed more time to prepare. And COVID precautions, they say, also have slowed down the progress of this case. Sharp is facing 1 charge of first-degree murder, 3 charges of attempted murder, and 48 charges of second-degree assault. The suspect is now almost 20 years old and will be tried as an adult, now facing up to life in prison.
Other big story tonight, all the snow. Not only have we seen heavy snow throughout the day, but so have the mountain passes. Take a look at that. Heavy snow, poor visibility, and avalanche danger have all closed Snoqualmie Pass, but it is expected to reopen in about 2 hours at 8 o'clock tonight. Stevens Pass also closed for some time today, but has since reopened. While it's not closed, Lookout Pass is reporting snow and slick road conditions. And if you are heading down to Pullman at all, use caution on Highway 195. Blowing snow is creating very poor visibility. And we have definitely had our share of heavy snow as well.
Yeah, we want to turn things over right now to Chief Meteorologist Tom Sherry. Tom, how much snow did we end up getting today, and is there more on the way?
Last check at the airport was just over 2 inches of snow, and yes, there is more on the way. A little bit tonight maybe, and a better chance of getting some light snow again tomorrow late in the morning hours. Take a look at this. We've we've got this winter weather advisory and winter storm warnings across eastern Washington, northeastern Washington, and North Idaho through 7 o'clock tonight. Up north, 4 to 6 inches of snow, between 2 to 3 inches of snow possible in the Spokane area. We didn't get as much snow down in the portions of the Palouse, but they had plenty of drifting snow. And then if you head even farther south, down towards Lewiston, we're seeing a lot more snow still continuing to fall in that area. But we will see drier weather begin to develop into the area by Wednesday. This is what it looks like now down in Colfax. Roads are really beginning to ice up. Our current temperatures at 31 degrees, and it's windy. Out of the southwest, it's 16 miles per hour. I do think we'll see decreasing wind overnight as well. See how the snow has pretty much moved off to the south and to the east of us. Just a little bit of light snow now falling in the Spokane area, but more snow falling down to the south of us. And there's a look at the Spokane region right there. So that was not on the radar, say, an hour ago, and it is kind of re-energized. And we kind of thought that would happen through about 7 o'clock tonight. So I've got windy with snow at times this evening, and then an overnight low of 21. Scattered snow expected tomorrow. More snow develops in the evening hours as well. We'll look for a daytime high of 32. Right now, it looks like we're on track for a dry weekend. The next time we get the most accumulating snow, I think, is going to be on Thursday. I'll check that and your 10-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Tom. Thank you very much. And as the temperatures start to dip down below freezing, conditions out there on the roads are likely going to worsen here, especially over the next few hours.
Let's get out to meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the KREM 2 mobile storm tracker tonight. Thomas, how are the roads where you're at this hour?
Yeah, Mark and Whitney, a lot of the major roadways and arterials are faring okay, some better than others. But I'll tell you where the worst of the road conditions are. It's where we're pretty much sitting right here. We're in the parking spot here in the Perry District. And as we get going, there is just so much worked over slush and snow, not just from today, but really from this past week. And, you know, I had a lot of trouble in my own front wheel drive car, even getting out of the parking lot this morning. Thankfully, our storm tracker has these really deep snow traction tires, so we can get away better than probably most as we head our way up the Perry District. Again, the roadways themselves are doing fine, but if you're turning off of, say, any of these like side streets, as we take a look at the sidewalks, you know, the parking lane here, obviously it's going to be a lot slower start for anybody that's at a standstill standing on the snow. So while you driving straight on the roadways, okay, you have to be extra cautious of the people trying to turn into these lanes or kind of come across these lanes, because they're going to have much less traction than you do your roadway. So that's kind of the big point of advice. Plus, yes, Tom, we had a lot of this heavy snow pick up in the last 30 minutes, and it might be just adding a fresh layer of snow starting to on Perry Street. So we'll watch those conditions for tonight and make sure that you're being careful as the traffic winds down this evening. The possibility of black ice will ramp up. Take it easy through the evening hours tonight. Live from the mobile storm tracker, I'm meteorologist Thomas Patrick. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Always a good reminder. And we want to know what it's like where you are. So please send us your winter wonderland photos or videos using the Near Me section of our KREM 2 mobile app. You can also text them to us right there at the number on your screen, 509-448-2000. And we might just show them right here on KREM 2 News. Well, in other top headlines tonight, kids as young as 12 could start getting their booster shots soon.
The Food and Drug Administration expanded emergency use of authorization of Pfizer's booster for kids 12 to 15. It still needs to be signed off on by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which is expected later this week. The FDA also shortened the time in between your initial doses and your booster. Under the new guidelines, everyone 12 and older would be able to get their booster dose after 5 months. The guidance comes as Omicron is sweeping the nation, becoming the dominant strain in the U.S.
Now, Omicron not yet causing a local massive spike in cases or hospitalizations, at least not yet. Spokane Regional Health reporting 203 new cases from over the holiday weekend. 67 people are currently hospitalized due to the virus, and 1 new death is being reported today as well. And in North Idaho, Panhandle Health is reporting 265 new COVID cases just today and 61 people hospitalized. 3 new deaths also reported there today.
As cases again surge, demand for local testing is through the roof. Today, lines wrapped around both of Spokane's community testing sites.
KREM 2's Janelle Finch is at the Spokane County Fairgrounds tonight, which saw extremely long lines today.
Health officials say the threat of Omicron has local testing sites reaching capacity almost daily. I'm at the Spokane Fair and Expo Center, where if you look behind me, you'll actually see they have a sign out that says that they are at capacity and only taking appointments. Both this site as well as the Spokane Falls Community College are seeing an increase in demand for testing. Looking at the current spread of COVID and close of the holiday season, Spokane's 2 mass testing sites are being hit with long lines and high demands. The Spokane Regional Manager for Discovery Health says the Spokane Falls testing site as well as the Spokane Expo Center have 500 tests for each day of the week they're open.
Our testing volume has actually doubled, to say the least. We actually currently are experiencing even higher than double volumes.
To keep track of their available tests, they encourage people to make appointments online. Spokane Regional Health says they are actively working to create more testing sites. One public nurse says they recognize this community need even before Omicron made its way to the eastern side of the state.
We've been trying to get additional testing capacity before we were even seeing Omicron, knowing that we were likely to have an increase in cases.
Spokane Falls Community College offered rapid testing on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Spokane Regional Health says appointments filled up quickly, but they don't plan on offering rapid testing again in the future. Spokane Regional Health encourages those who are experiencing symptoms and those who have known exposures to make appointments at their sites and get tested. I was also at the Spokane Falls Community College site where lines were just as long. I spoke with the regional manager for Discovery Health, who told me if you plan on getting an appointment over the next few weeks, expect a significant wait time as well as arrive early. In Spokane Valley, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Well, we will have more tips and tricks to find a COVID test here in the area a little bit later in our broadcast. In the meantime, if you would like a link on where to start looking for a COVID test, just text the word COVID to 509-448-2000.
All right, still ahead tonight, a new year marks new goals for the city of Spokane. So a look into what is going on in their first meeting of the year coming up tonight. Plus, get to know one of their newest council members.
Being a Coug is special, and only Cougs know what being a Coug is all about.
And later in the show, the college football season is over here in the area, which means a lucky few WSU players will turn their attention now to the NFL draft. Our Brenna Green caught up with Max Borghi today to talk about his next steps.